reached their peak, reached their apex. We're now into the draft now, Yanni, for game number 2, and we talked about that global use the Akali power to do that, but instead they ban the Akali, and it's not going to be an opportunity for Creme this time out.
I like that you mentioned maybe top esports has hit their peak. You could be right about that. I think we need to see Creme unlock that second gear of being a more facilitating mid laner. He's got the lowest KP of any mid laner in Ascend, second lowest in the entire league, just above Haichao. I think, you know, Creme is like at 58% or something like that. He's got to be more active in helping out. He just tends to be a I'm gonna lane and try to win the game kind of guy. AL getting their first pick, it's going to be that Yunara.
Typical answer here is just Thresh Aphelios, or at the very least Aphelios, and we might get to see the Thresh locked in alongside it. I mean, with Jarvan banned, it's not as highly sought after, but you could still benefit from repositioning the Aphelios as always. That one gets locked in, and now it's a question of whether or not there are any high priority junglers, mid laners, or top laners that these guys might like to take. With the Ambessa still up and available, that might be one to consider, but NaiYou here, we talked about his champion pool, and it may be getting a little bit pinched with the Jarvan and the double Fearless bans already. The Vi gets locked in, and there's no surprises there.
I really like that Vi lock-in because it keeps the door open for the Thresh. Thresh, typically in the Yunara, not so great. You don't have that guaranteed lockdown for this hyper carry, and Thresh would play really well into a Pantheon if AL locked that in, but now Tarzan is the one that gets to cheat on globals.
Yeah, and that's never a benefit if you're playing up against it. I was going to say here that your typical pairings with Yunara are the Lulu. Again, a Thresh can pair pretty well into that. You hook the Lulu, one-shot her, and then the Yunara doesn't typically have the damage to 2v1 like that. But we'll see what jungler ends up getting picked up here by Tarzan. Expectation is that they match that and make sure that there's a good way to get on top of this Aphelios. Make sure that Vi as well has a nice little pairing into the mid lane for top esports. Creme has been able to pull out an Ahri. He's been able to pull out something that can pair up nicely, and with Taliyah still actually on the board, wouldn't be a surprise to see that one get taken in that second round.
You see this Thresh hover. I think you could go for either mid or support here. You are going to lose a lot of options to get JiaQi out of trouble if you don't pick the Thresh here. So I think top esports are under the gun a bit here. They will lock it in. So let's see AL take out these mid laners.
Yeah, you're expecting, like we say, the Taliyah, the Ahri maybe to get taken off the board, and you look at what it is that top esports are looking to remove. Maybe one of those mid lane picks that can play very safely. I mean, the Cassio indicates immediately that you're looking for a Rise, and that then as well. You would expect to see banned away if anyone's Legend have read this. They don't have the opportunity to take away, you know, all of those mid laners. I say probably leave Ahri up. If anything, Taliyah Rise as a ban here. Definitely not going to be the worst thing in the world.
All right, Cassiopeia biting the dust here. Obviously, we went over the good options for our mid laners, but our top laners are also still yet to pick, and they're going to go after 369's pool. Again, 369, he also made Team Week 2's Team of the Week, the first one for a member of top esports. Beat up on Bin in the last series, had a great start against Flandre in this game, so is making a case to maybe be on there for a second straight week. We'll see.
Yeah, he's not done badly at all. 369 definitely feels like the part of this roster that has been the most consistent, which is, you know, what you need, but it does require an acceleration from that gear into, you know, just being consistent, into being the part and the reason why your team are able to win these games. Second ban though coming through was the Anivia, so I mean this is Rise all day that Creme is setting up for. We'll see what it is that anyone's Legend look to do. It's the Ambessa ban taken off the board, so they're setting up for a blind pick in the top lane. We know that top esports are setting up for this Rise into the mid lane, so they're just waiting to see what it is that actually Flandre is looking to take here. It's probably just Rek'Sai.
Yeah, I would think so, right? It's one of his best champions so far this year. I think a combined 9-1 on Sion and Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai's his 4-1 champion, so really good. To see that Rise, as you mentioned, get locked in. All right, Renekton.
Not against this either. You've taken away some of the good matchups. I do think that Renekton has a pretty good time of things versus the Ambessa, but either way, it gets taken off the board and prevents some of that dive coming through. Again, what I'm missing out from top esports is a dive buddy for NaiYou. I see him going into the backline, and he's going solo currently, so Definitely a more pick-focused composition for Top Esports thus far, as they actually round out their opposition against with a Galio. So they need something in that top lane that can go into the backline, and the Aatrox is going to be the answer. 369 on this dive-style top laner alongside NaiYou here. Maybe using the Realm Warp, they can get people into the backline, cheat a little bit of that tempo, and put some hope under pressure.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that the Aatrox, if the flanks aren't really there, is going to have a hard time getting to this backline, but with what AL want to do, will certainly be able to get a lot of healing off. AL, a little low in the magic damage department here. Could be something to watch out for, but in order for Top Esports to really execute their game plan, what do you need to see in the early game?
I mean, they are looking to win out on this bot lane. I mean, these 2v2 is going to be very, very important. Hope and Kael have been clinical down there so far, and JiaQi and Fengyue need to step up and make sure that they're not a reason for concern. But NaiYou here on this vibe. From level 3, you can be proactive, you can be making things happen. So look top, look bot. I think ignore the Ryze Galio matchup. That's not something we're particularly interested in. We know that we're going to see Creme do damage later on. We know that Shanks is going to be a facilitator throughout the game. So go to your side lanes, get them an advantage, and hope that you can make sure that your Aphelios is in a good position.
We talked about potentially seeing Creme on a champion that'll get to roam around a little bit more. Ryze does fit that description once he hits level 6. We'll see what he does with these Realm Warps to ferry people around. Try to win this early game for Top Esports. Again, down 1-0 in the series. They lose this series, they are stuck in the bottom 2 of Group Ascend and will have to take the Winding Knights road as Game 2 starts now.
Okay, crowd, we're going to need to be a little bit faster on those. Camps spawned 30 seconds earlier. We got to be swifter with this. The second we're seeing them in-game, we got to get going.
Yeah, it's week 3. There's no excuse for this at this point.
Yeah.
You know, or you know, like first week, you know, all right. Second week, okay, halfway through, you got to start picking it up. Speaking of picking up the pace, Tarzan immediately showing up to the mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, I took your Raptors, he says as he walks across mid lane, and there's very little response that can be had here. I mean, the bot lane is pushing for anyone's legend. First hook went wide by Fengyue, which really dictates how this lane is going to start playing out. If that first hook hits, then you've got an opportunity to look for these plays, and you can see here, level 1 Aphelios, not the best at being able to trade back, but a couple of autos coming through with this Calibran gun does give you that agency to find these little trades, and it's a reason and a proponent for why people are taking the Aphelios. Early on, you have the range to be able to outrange the Yunara. Later on, you can shotgun Q her with the red gun, and then you just one-shot her.
All right, so off schedule already for NaiYou, as mentioned, when those chickens got taken. So immediately thinking it's going to be harder for him to go and hit level 6, thinking of, you know, the second spawn of Crab, where we're often seeing junglers really go after those to hit 6. Might not see Top Esports there. We'll see what reverberating impact that has for the rest of this game. They know where NaiYou is, so if Tarzan wants to go attack, there will be opportunity there, but I think NaiYou will just end up heading bot.
Yeah, Hope missing out on a couple of minions from that first wave does mean he has to go back. Can't pick up the Cull instead, and Kael is spotted here. I mean, wouldn't be against Fengyue looking for a hook there and trying to maybe force the summon and heal out, but the way that this bot lane started out, the way that it is looking to progress, really good position for anyone's legend again with their composition. They're quite happy. If this game does go a little bit slower, I think they're largely relying on Hope the longer this game goes. But then again, Top Esports don't particularly have a bad late game in themselves either. The Aphelios can go nuclear, and they've got a good amount of access as well.
Do you think that it's potentially a mistake for AL to opt into a bot lane like this, where you're not really getting super aggressive against the Top Esports bot lane, who we've seen struggle?
Hey, that's a really good point. You know, if you want to play for the hands checks, then absolutely. There's a very real argument for,
he didn't spot NaiYou.
Do we play who we're against, or do we play for practice? And Look at Scuffle here. Trying to grab the
right.
majority of those.
And meanwhile, in the spot lane, there's a hook. The barrier getting burnt. The heals are there. The shields might be there. And JiaQi will fall. First blood to Hope. Ends up being a 1-for-1 when the dust settles.
I mean, all of that looks horrendous for anyone's legend. Somehow they come away with a frozen wave and first blood for their AD carry. I mean, that's just a summoner spell difference right there. I think that it looks like summoner heal was used earlier by Fengyue in that bot lane. JiaQi has got cleanse instead of a barrier, so they know that they can tank the minions with a 400 HP disparity. It just doesn't matter. Looking at this replay, right, you can see Hope trying to hold this wave. He gets rooted up, but look at the amount of shielding and healing that he gets here. He's able to get barrier one side, summoner heal on another, Lulu shield again. JiaQi doesn't have anything like that. No summoner heal, no barrier, and anything like that would have turned this game around and would have turned that fight in their favor. But Hope's ran the numbers and he knows that he can get that 1-for-1.
And this is why Lulu is such a damn good champion down in the bottom lane. The pure utility that you end up getting is massive. Hook goes wide. It looks a little weird, but you just have to guess sometimes as Thresh.
Yeah, you know, you're expecting a Duke to come through, and if it doesn't, then you look like a fool. If it does, sometimes you look like Bunny Fufu, and that's
Mad life.
The real Hope. Yeah, well, I gotta show some of the Western roots.
I mean, I understand, but you know, Bunny Fufu did have a damn Thresh.
He did.
That guy was pretty good. We don't really talk about him too much. We're seeing some trading going back and forth here. Still in this bottom lane is Hope and Kael, after that kill, feel re-energized and aggressive down here.
And as they should, really, right? I mean, this is once again an instance where I feel like we're seeing Hope play to his opponents, where he just goes back, picks up a call after his second base, and knows that he's not really going to get punished for it, or hopes that he's not going to get punished for it, that is. 2 calls alongside both of our marksmen, so they're going to reach those breakpoints roughly at that same time. And I don't know how I feel about this game as it goes later, Yanni. I'm going to be honest. I think both of these teams have got stable marksmen. They've got really good bridge top sides of the map that are ultimately going to fall off. And I do think that it comes down to maybe there's a slight advantage for top esports as this game gets later, because they're going to have a Ryze versus a Galio who, in terms of just pure damage, it is going to work out. But Creme's in trouble now mid lane.
Oh, good route there onto Shanks. Meant that he was able to escape with relative ease. Tarzan is now level 6. We're going to see NaiYou get level 6 on his next camp, or this Dragon take here, as top esports have started it up. So we're looking for these big impact ultimates out of these junglers to try and break this game open for either side.
Yeah, level 6, like you said, for Tarzan here, and now anyone's Legend bot lane looking to contest.
All right, there's Tarzan coming through. Big flay from Fengyue as the stun is there onto NaiYou. JiaQi's got red white, but he's only level 5 for the moment. It looks like top esports will be able to get out.
In-out job done. Good engage in the mid lane as well by Creme, as he did stop any sort of approach happening. And well, Flandre on this top side with the ulti charge might be looking for the one shot onto 369. Doesn't quite have the ability to do that. And overall, I think the top esports will be very happy with that. They take away the first dragon, and that's about it. They don't lose anything for it. They get a little bit of damage on to NaiYou, but he's able to walk it out. Nice little pickup, and I'll be more than happy.
And that's much more of their game, right? We talked about how, you know, game 1, they weren't able to get that done, but their comfort zone is being able to go after these early objectives. And, you know, frankly, they're not really that strong to go and pick these up. So, you know, knowing that Tarzan was going to head up top to go grab the third respawn of chickens and saying, hey, you know what, this is a good opportunity for us. It was a really smart and shrewd play by top esports.
It is, and hopefully they can continue with that. It's worth mentioning that since that early scuffle down on the bot side, JiaQi has been able to keep pace as well with Hope, and our large concerns for that bot lane were that they wouldn't be able to keep pace, and they've done so well so far.
8 minutes into the game, grubs are up, and you already see NaiYou in the back of that pit looking to sneak away as many as he can. JiaQi and Fengyue have this advantage on the bottom side. They've now spotted out NaiYou on the top side. So we'll see if we're going to have any laners move around. Looks like Creme is walking his way up, and NaiYou says, I got what I came for.
More than happy with just the one. Denying the 3P is really good, and that's going to be more than enough for them. Quick plating as well picked up for JiaQi and Fengyue down on this bot side, so starting to put some of the pressure down that we were hoping to see with this counter matchup. Thresh again, pretty decent versus the Lulu in the laning phase. You hook her, she dies, but as this game gets later, the value of a Lulu definitely going to start to reign supreme as you can buff up whoever it is that you're looking to. And you see Tarzan and NaiYou here dueling over some Raptors.
Roots down. Do we want to actually go in? Tarzan's got that fully stacked passive. Shanks looking to attack Creme. Knockup is there. Taunt's going to land on both members. Good buffer by NaiYou, but NaiYou could be the one in trouble. We're going to see the hero's entrance. Another root going down as Creme rebuffs any opportunity. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we're seeing the ultimate Adalulu used and transcending oneself. Hope with a dodge, but is also very, very low.
Flash out by Hope there, and this is that roam from NaiYou now into the bot side. Has no ulti, but does have flash. He's got no way to get in. And anyone's legend down on that bot side losing out a little bit here. Top Esports are able to find the 2v2 in their favor. All summoner spells burned except for our support's flashes. And it does mean that anyone's legend falling a little bit behind that curve.
And we're seeing a reasonable gold lead come out from not only your bot lane, but your mid lane as well. If you're Top Esports, you've knocked down 2 plates. You've got a very sizable CS lead for JiaQi. So despite the early death, things looking pretty solid for the Top Esports bot lane. A byproduct of Tarzan not making his impact known yet. He did have this problem in their last match against JDG on the Pantheon, where his first ultimate didn't actually happen until 20-ish minutes, and they didn't get their first kill until 24 minutes.
Yeah, I think he was level 10 or something daft like that. Like he was spending some time in the jungle before he actually moved his way out of there, but he needs to show that he can do a little bit more on this Pantheon. I think something that we've been a little bit lacking from him in that sense. But you know, Top Esports, we talked about their strong points. I do think that when JiaQi is on form, he can be one of the better performing AD carries that we've got. Doesn't typically miss position in these team fights necessarily as a problem. And so far, we haven't seen those egregious plays that we saw from game number 1, right? He hasn't gone up and got caught out 2v1, hasn't yet been caught out on a bounce out from a dive or from a crashed wave. So for Top Esports, I think this game is going really nicely, going pretty well for them, as Creme so far probably the richest member in the game, just farming up versus the Galio without really any problems.
It's about 20 seconds till this next dragon. Tarzan is going to stop the recall. As we're going to have a Lantern Flash Blade play. The root's there, the hook's there too. Lots of damage coming through. Polymorph to turn it around. And Hope is trying to kite out, dashes away. And Fengyue can't get to him before the shield does. Hope is 3-1.
And that's just the difference of a second. Any extra stats and Hope falls. But JiaQi there, not able to make it stick. Anyone's legend in the 2v2 once again come out on top.
It's so damn close, Roodood. I mean, I thought Top Esports bot lane had W written all over it on that play, but Kael expertly clicking his buttons. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, and this is really good play by Top Esports, right? They recognize the Lulu's a little bit split. Let's go for a one-shot, but unfortunately, there's just not quite enough in the tank, and the CC layering from Kael is beautiful. Looks for the knock-up, waits for the knock-up to be finished before polymorphing the enemy AD. You know, sometimes you can layer those and you waste a little bit of CC time. If he gets unpolymorphed, then Hope all of a sudden dies. As JiaQi, we come back to life. He's dead once again, and this game all of a sudden starts to just feel like it's going to go the exact same way as game number 1.
And now AL is just taking complete control of this bot side jungle. Not much for NaiYou to do. Goes into a bush and finds a wild Shanks and is forced to flash away.
Again, the late game for Top Esports isn't solely dependent this time on JiaQi. If Creme can be a fed member, then maybe there's a world that he can come out on top. But this is just a one-shot from Tarzan. Flashes, and again, Fengyue does everything right. He flays the Pantheon away, hooks him out of safety, but JiaQi just still falls, and the flash from Tarzan is enough.
Yeah, the one bad thing he did was back on a ward. Speaking of wards, they're attempting to clear and retake this bottom try. Hope in a dash to the side. He's transcended, and the Arc of Ruin plus the autos does just enough. On the other side, Shanks has wrapped up Creme, and now it's JiaQi and NaiYou against the world. But the hero's entrance slams NaiYou to the dirt, and Hope will run down JiaQi. Red, white, I don't give a damn. I'll take this fight.
And Hope comes away with another massive fight down on the bot side. Kael there to support as well. Anyone's Legend take all 3 members that they want. Creme's able to walk back to the mid lane as, well, to be honest with you, it's just Shanks decided he didn't want that fight anymore. Ulties onto his jungler and gets the get out of jail free card. Dragon secured for them as well, and I mean, this game is going from bad to worse. Creme not really getting enough support in this one to keep him going. We take a look at that top lane as well. It's the only area of the map that we've not particularly seen anything from. And that's also Flandre with a 500 gold lead. We take a look at this replay. Fengyue misses the hook, and that is just then all of your threat gone. This Thresh is so live or die by that death sentence, and unfortunately, if it doesn't hit, you don't sign anyone up for it. Good luck here from Hope as well. Knows that he doesn't just have to settle for the Vi. He knows that he wins this 1 versus 1, and despite JiaQi's best efforts, not quite enough in the tank to take down the Yunara. 2 fed already.
It just feels like the story of this game for top esports bot lane, so close yet so far. It was a really good effort out of them early on, but again, JiaQi getting caught at that one moment, a couple of miscues here and there, as you mentioned about the Thresh hook, just kind of, you miss one and you sign yourself up for the death sentence. I think the big story of this game, though, is this mid-jungle duo not linking up. Typically, you want to, you have your standard pairings for Vi, right? The Ahri, the Talia. You took the Rise. It doesn't have the greatest pair up, and Creme has the 0-0-0, the cardio stat line right now. Hasn't been able to use his ultimate to have a positive man fight for top esports, and now they're on an island.
It's going to be a 3 versus 3 with the potential of globals joining later on. Creme and Shanks now dicing it out in the mid lane. Shanks able obviously to get the initial good trade.
Run, guys. Just let the turret go. It's okay. It's tough, but you're playing to get to 45 minutes anyway at this point in time. Turret goes to the side of AL, a 4,000 gold lead for them.
There's a world where parity is favourable for top esports, but again, I really think that actually, upon reflection, the power of an Enchanter is just far better than the power of a DPS mid laner. Galio still has function, where I think that Lanterns in the late game are about all that we can reliably consist of for Fengyue. He needs to show that he's got much more in the tank if he's going to be a powerful presence in this mid to late game. It needs to be hook after hook landing. And if those go wide, it really does start to feel like this game will be done.
And, there's a school of thought where you kind of just hold your hook and, use your pressure that way. But you have to remember, the lights might be a little brave for Fengyue. He is the 2nd youngest support in the league. Just older by a year on Perukia and a couple months younger than Vampire. And, doesn't even have the tier 1 experience that Vampire has, right? So this is definitely a work in progress for this young man. And, again, there are some good moments out of him. I think he made some good enough Thresh plays in this particular game, but there's also going to be some moments where he does look every bit like the rookie he is.
And obviously for top esports here, again, their hopes from this series to make it into the top 4, they are currently on that outside of it. Looking in, a win maybe gets them in a position where they could contend for that top 4, but anyone's Legend already 5-2, they're just securing themselves seeding at this stage. If top can't manage to take this one home, they'll pretty much lock themselves out of that top 4 and pretty much make the top 4 cemented.
Herald for AL. Flandre knocking down this top turret, and top esports can't get much of anything except farm. It is dire straits for these guys, as you're not able to accelerate your Rise. You're unable to accelerate your Aphelios either. It is so tough right now.
Yeah, and again, that gold disparity between these two marksmen currently being very, very felt. JiaQi's got a long way to go.
Well, he'll flash, he'll cleanse, but I think he'll still die, as Hope will pick it up.
Yeah, and I don't know what he was sidestepping from there, but he looked as though he was walking towards a lantern and then sidestepped away from it. There was a world where he could have got out to safety, but that's double summoners burned. And you still die.
Crash. Gonna hook Tarzan as well. He's taking turret shots, but Creme can't get closer. There's NaiYou on the backside, but the hero's entrance again crushes NaiYou. And the mid turret will fall. Shanks with a flash taunt. The sidestep as well, and they're still looking for more. Hope charging forward, and Creme lives on a sliver, but Hope will not let Fengyue off the hook.
Creme limps out on a fraction of health there, not even miscalculation from Hope, just a little bit damage, not quite there. And for Top Esports, again, it's just the same story where one small problem has led them to now a gigantic deficit. 7,000 gold, 20 minutes in, not even, Yanni. I think this game is just completely done.
Yeah, everybody is losing here. Oh, no. Wait, that taunt didn't hit him? Anyway,
Riot
we're killing
like Flandre.
Flandre.
Enough day.
We are killing Flandre. Top Esports, NaiYou links up with 369.
I mean, this is completely independently as well that Flandre has been able to take that top tier 1 turret. You get a replay of what happened in the mid lane here. Really good positioning from Hope. He stands and sort of face checks, damage checks Creme down 3 levels and just knows that he's going to be able to do a little bit more. And defending. Yeah, bot side not looking good.
Oh, that's just mean.
It's a good heads up play though by Kael. Not even using the polymorph, using the ulti there to find the knock up, stop Creme from getting into that and making sure that he falls as well.
And the last bastion of KDA is 369. Soap and Shanks.
Yeah, top there.
3,000 total kills. Congratulations to them. 369. We'll see if he ends up dying this game, if he wants to try to save that KDA. Might be his only shot at trying to make Team of the Week, as this game, definitely not his. Flandre, obviously we haven't talked about it much, but he has soundly defeated 369 in this one.
Yeah, and you know, without particularly any interaction from elsewhere as well. Shanks though caught under the turret. Okay, if JiaQi had actually prepped his white gun there, I think that could have been a lot more dangerous, but Shanks was able to get out of really any danger. I mean, he's gone a little bit of armor to begin with here, but doesn't particularly have too much, as NaiYou's just been spotted queuing into the bot side jungle, and a lot of missing pings came through there. They're looking for Hope underneath this turret, but I don't think they're going to be able to find it all that easily.
The dice, any play that they can try is just getting snuffed out at this point. The good news is, Roodood, again, we have seen many teams throw at Baron. Top Esports just needs to survive to that point. Will they be able to do that is the question. I don't know what the answer is. I'm leaning toward no, and so is the predictor model.
Yeah, well, they would probably be correct. I know that I've had my beef with this prediction thing in the past, but this time round, I think we're pretty aligned. This game is looking pretty disastrous, and barring, again, any miracles and maybe Hope having to take a really elongated break from using his hands, this game should be over.
I think Hope could put the game on autopilot at this point. I think still do just fine. Has this 3-item spike, has that Infinity Edge, is just doling out more damage than anybody can. Here we go. There's that Realm Warp, but the taunt from Shanks will cut it off. There's a Lantern. The knockups are there. NaiYou's been polymorphed, and the Dark Passage will go unclicked.
Yeah,
Creme is dead.
Yeah, that's about all that is. A Lantern and a ward placed upon it. Good heads-up play by whoever put the pink down. Die on top side equals Baron, and anyone's legend here. Really solid performance. Again, looking to cement themselves as probably the best team here in this league. Really start to give BLG a bit of a run for their money, as well as they look like they found some real form back after that series versus Invictus Gaming, going back to their winning ways. They'll secure themselves the Baron, put themselves in a very good position for the remainder of this one, and with a 10k gold lead, you'd expect this one to be finished within the next, I'll give it, 5-10 minutes.
Couldn't agree more. And AL, for this, it'll be 5 straight match wins for them after a 1-2 start. They were looking shaky to begin the year, and it was a big surprise to many of the LPL faithful as a team that stuck together throughout the entire offseason, which, as we know from knowing the league ecosystem well, is exceedingly rare. You don't often see that. So to see them start on the wrong foot early was concerning, but now they brought it back and looking to just beat up on top esports and then look toward their week 4 matchups against Weibo and BLG. And that's where AO will truly prove their salt if they are still the kings of the LPL in Split 1.
Yeah, that series versus BLG, definitely one to watch. Could very well be a bit of a prelude to some deeper playoff series that we end up finding ourselves with, as Creme, I mean, tickling Shanks at this stage in the game here. 2 items for the Rise is his safety breakpoint, but we don't have the greatest amount of damage, and Hope has got so much peel, so much protection from Kael that he's never really going to be feeling any threat.
Okay, we're targeting out Yunara, but the protection from Shanks, Hope just goes over the wall. Hope is in the base of top esports and in the face of top esports. A double kill for him. Now he wants NaiYou. He's tanking up the turret. He hasn't cared about anything this game except the kill count. Triple kill for Hope. The push is on, and I believe the game is over.
Yeah, I was a bit generous with 5 minutes here, Yanni. They've already taken the mid inhibitor. They've got 3 people staring down these Nexus turrets. NaiYou with no ulti. What on earth is he going to do?
All right, my jungler's flying in. And Flandre will pick up, well, might not be the last one. Fengyue says new challenger approaches. And they're going to go right after him. They're going to go pad those KDAs as best they can. All right, he's stuck in the fountain. He's not going to die, but I know the Nexus will. It is a 19-2 kill score for anyone's legend as they run over top esports.
Yeah, and the second that bot lane, you know, had just the smallest of tweaks, the whole wheels fell off of the bot lane bus. A 0-7-1 finish for JiaQi in this game. Definitely not a highlight-worthy performance, and one that he'll be looking to soon forget, as that was, you know, really, really quite poor. Lots of really difficult deaths to watch. Obviously, the 2v2 looked really close to begin with, but the second that it didn't go his way, it all of a sudden just completely cascaded into a full-on disaster.
And on the other side, Hope, again, we said the bot lane meta is great for him. His chance to be the shining star, have the ball in his hands in 2026. He did not disappoint on this Yunara. It was, again, he's just the disrespect later in the game, because they're up so far, but really playing on a knife's edge early, squeaking out those wins.
Yeah, they were able to you know, play like you mentioned, right to the limit, and even from that early 2 versus 2 where they went 1 for 1, and he's just playing with an extra 400 HP of summoner spell knowledge. It gives you that understanding that actually he knows what it is that he's looking to do, and he's actually very aware of what the limits are of this bot lane. So the fact that he was able to take that and then extend that into another 2v2 later on where they did end up finding that double kill, that's one of those double kills that you just think, wow, well, we probably shouldn't have got away with that, but we have done anyway, and now the game just plays itself.
Yep. And that is the best feeling as an AD carry player. I know you know that feeling. I know that feeling all too well also. Anyone's Legend improving to 6-2. Top Esports falling to 3-6. And that will put them on Knight's Road, so they're going to have to contend with Group Perseverance and maybe even some Group Nirvana teams. Let's look forward a little bit for Top Esports. They've got one more match. It'll be on the second to last day of the regular season. That'll be against JDG. This is a JDG team that has also had its own host of problems, Roodood. I just don't know if I saw enough out of Top Esports today to be able to confidently say that they could win. We're going to need to see some big bounce backs, especially at a guy like NaiYou. It was not up to the task today.
No, I mean, I think today, absolutely not. I mean, we saw very little from a lot of these players. I mean, you can argue 369 didn't lose any of the game, but he lost that top lane just as gracefully as he could have done, even though he had counter pick. So it's a little bit questionable in that sense as well. The rest of the team didn't particularly hold any candles to this. I don't think Fengyue had a bad series, but I don't think his Thresh inspired any confidence either. And then, you know, you're looking at Creme in that mid lane, maybe one of the better performing parts of Top Esports, actually, where, you know, in seasons gone by, that hasn't been the case. In this split in particular, he's been doing pretty well. Game number 2 here, held his own, had a gold lead once again, but as anyone's legend will very well know, Shanks isn't going to lose you the game. He's just going to be, he's going to be there. He's going to do the graceful stuff that he has to do, and then be a massive team fight threat.
I love that you were talking about Creme just a minute there. I mean, we've talked about the pillars of top esports being 369 and Creme. I think 369 has held up his end of the bargain ever since, week 2 started. Obviously, you mentioned not the greatest series from him. Good at the start. It wasn't his fault this game. Creme needs to do more. This guy is just skating by on the fact that he has been one of the franchise players for top esports. I need to see this guy have more action. I need to see this guy help out his jungler a little bit more. We're not seeing this happen. We're not seeing him move around the map at all. He's just stationary side lane gaming, and that needs to change.
Yeah, I mean, we see the damage
0!
numbers here as well.
There's only 2 kills, but 0!
He's got 34% damage, but all he's doing is just farming on Shanks all game and not actually making anything happen. I mean, NaiYou this game as well, 4,000 damage total, which is not good for a Vi champion. Actually getting out damaged by Kael in this game, but yeah, not a great look for the majority of top esports. And again, if they'd have paired up as a duo, maybe you could have expected to see that kill participation for Creme be better. Maybe we expect to see the damage share for NaiYou be a little higher.
You want to know what the difference was in that particular fight? Fengyue's box came out just a split second after the second pull of the hook, and the wall did not break. The damage was not done, and that ended up being the difference.
It's a game of inches, a game of fractions is League of Legends, and top esports
No wonder why
will
I'm
be
so bad
reminded
at
of
League.
that.
Game of fractions?
Yeah. It is.
Listen, I was not great at math. I'll tell you what. This is
It
why
is.
casters don't do math.
It's about all of these small things and all of those tiny little inches that you sometimes aren't going to be able to take, and that's the really bad news for top esports in this case.
Rough one. Yeah, again, the spot lane is just continuing to struggle, and I think top esports at this point may be counting down the days until JiaQi Love returns. Obviously, we knew that this was going to be an audition for JiaQi, and I do not think the audition has gone quite well, to be quite honest with him. I do wonder what the future holds for him. As, we talked about, nobody's really going to unseat JiaQi Love for the moment. So what does the rest of the year look like for him, going into Split 2 and beyond?
I mean, I think that when top esports are winning, weirdly, it's because JiaQi's performing, which is a really weird position to find top esports in. Because he's what is making and breaking this team at the minute, and it just so happens that more often than not he's breaking them. But what it also says is that actually he's got quite a lot of potential if he's able to carry teams and carry games versus some of these big teams, and that's pretty decent. Yeah, Creme did the BLG work, but I think overall actually JiaQi has been a little bit more of a reason why they've won games.
You're right. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, whether it's propping him up or he's just falling on his own. It is difficult for top esports to try to consistently find these wins. Now let's look ahead to tomorrow's games. So we're going to have LGD versus OMG covered by Blockster and Rafa, and then BLG versus Weibo. That'll be a really nice match with Melvin and Dia. Roodood, any initial thoughts on those matchups?
No, I mean, I think that obviously with the way that Ascend is at the minute, every single game it is coming down to the wire. So I think with this win here, AL lock themselves top 4. Top esports pretty much lock everybody else for top 4 as well, I think. So we're now playing for seeding largely, which I think is going to be pretty beneficial to the majority of the teams that are looking at it. And when we look at how well BLG played against IG, that series tomorrow will be pretty exciting if both teams are on form.
And we'll see if BLG has gotten back to their earlier winning ways, and if Weibo's surge can continue. This team has also been quite good after a rough start, but that's going to do it for us here today. Before we go, we need to give a big shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron, Soup, and Mung, because their pledged financial contributions help level up the broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every single day. If you want to hear your name shouted out, feel free to donate to our coffee and be one of our elite supporters. But again, that'll do it for us here today. For myself, for Roodood, for Caddy, And the casters who came before us, K-Man and Slayer, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today, and we hope to see you tomorrow for some more LPL action.